what makes you so different.
Because I'm me, Jean Harlow, not one of those...
Ed Robertson, along with our guest Tom Lisanti. Tom's books on movies and television from the 1960s include Carol Lindley, her film and TV career in thrillers, fantasy, and suspense, and the book that we've devoted most of our time with Tom with today, Dueling Harlows, the race to bring the actress's life to the silver screen. Everything you wanted to know and more about the various screen attempts to capture the life and legend of Jean Harlow, including the two movies released almost at the same time in 1965, both of which were named Harlow, one of which also starred Carol Lindley. Dueling Harlows, available through McFarlane Books as well as Amazon.com. Carol Lindley, her film and TV career in thrillers, fantasy, and suspense, available through Bear Manor Media.com. Bear Manor is also the publisher of Tom's latest book, which is Texas, an Oral History. One of the people that Tom talked to for his book on Texas was John McCafferty. John McCafferty, the actor known around the world as Billy Joe Wright on Texas. Tom Lisanti was kind enough to arrange for John McCafferty to join us on TV Confidential. That conversation with Tom and John and me will air in a few weeks on our program. In the meantime, what are you working on next that you're at liberty to discuss with our listeners?
Well, I've segued over to the soap operas. I did a book about oral history on Ryan Soap that came out in 2023 from Kensington Books. Just released was my second soap opera oral history about Texas, which was a spin-off of Another World. It was supposed to be the Dallas, the daytime TV, but wasn't. That just came out through Bear Manor Media. And through my research on Texas, which was on the air from 1980 to 1982, it shared a studio with Another World, and the cast and crew intermingled constantly, from riding limos from Manhattan out to the studio, which was all the way out in Brooklyn, to hanging out in the makeup and hair dressing rooms, and to just being stuck out in Brooklyn. At that time, there was nothing around there. So I actually watched Another World from like 1980 to 82, and so I'm doing a book, another like oral history focusing on Another World in relation to Paul Rausch, who executive produced it, from 1978 when he tried to launch a new soap called Lovers and Friends. That bombed after 4 months. He got NBC to allow him to retool it. It became For Richer, For Poorer. That bombed after 9 months. He convinced NBC, instead of replacing For Richer, For Poorer with another half-hour soap, why don't we expand Another World to 90 minutes? They obliged him, but that was not successful. Then he convinced them to do a spin-off, which was Texas, and they spun off Texas. Another World goes back to 60 minutes, but it was at its low point. From like 1980, 81, and 82 were not the heyday of Another World, but I found the backstage stuff, again, fascinating, what was going on in Another World while Texas was filming across the way. So that's what this book is going to be about. I've interviewed actors from Lovers and Friends, from Richer, For Poorer, and from Another World during that time period. So I know there's a lot of Another World fans out there, but it's not the be-all, end-all about Another World. It's going to be about Another World from 1978 to 1982, and that's it.
Well, a particular history, the history of a particular time in the history of Another World.
Yes, because it was the first, basically I'm calling it Another World, behind the scenes of Daytime's first 90-minute soap, basically, because it was the only soap ever to go to 90 minutes, and it lasted about a year and a half at 90, almost 2 years at 90 minutes. And what's interesting is my research, you read articles from Soap Opera Digest and Afternoon TV from that time period, and all the actors are like, oh, this is great, we have more time, the stories, everybody's like being good little soldiers and praising 90 minutes, but every single actor I've interviewed today all said how it sucked. It was so hard to do 90 minutes a day. And one actress, Vicki Dawson, said, he goes, if you think about it, TV movies during the 70s were 90 minutes. We were doing a TV movie a day.
Yeah.
And she goes, it was. I'm learning it was a lot of work. they were in a studio. They were split shootings. The one started, there was a morning and then afternoon. And then you had, like, the grand dames, like Beverly McKenzie and Victoria Wyndham, who had in their contract, they would film their scenes first. So you had to wait till they filmed. And if you were in scenes with them in the afternoon, you were there all day. Plus the commute from Manhattan to Brooklyn. So it's a lot of interesting stuff everyone's been telling me.
Well, if it's as good and as comprehensive and absorbing to read as your oral histories of Texas and Ryan Soap, I'm very much looking forward to your oral history of the 90-minute Another World. And when that is released and you're ready to talk about it, we'll look forward to having you back on TV Confidential.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm taking my time on this one. Probably not until sometime next year.
Sounds good. Sounds good. In the meantime, Carol Lindley, her film and TV career in thrillers, fantasy, and suspense, by Tom Lisanti, available through Bear Manor Media as well as Amazon.com. While Dueling Harlows, the backstory of the biopics on Jean Harlow that were released in 1965, as well as the Harlow biopic released in 78 featuring Lindsay Bloom. That is available through McFarland Books as well as Amazon.com. Tom Lisanti, always a pleasure to talk to you. I look forward to our next conversation.
Thanks, so do I.
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.